Hi, I want to talk a little bit about your final project, so the paper presentation and documentary that you are going to be doing. Now, the presentation and the documentary are two different things. Basically, what I'm asking first is for you to video about 5 people that are different racial, ethnic, gender, socioeconomic makeup, and people that you don't know, and you have to interview people over the age of 18. You do not have to have a consent form because it's a classroom assignment, so you can just tell them, hey, I just want to ask you a couple of questions about this social issue and just get your opinions on it, and that's it. And it's only going to be seen by other classmates and my professor. So what you want to do is find those 5 people, and again, only one person in your group can do it. Each person gets somebody. It doesn't matter to me. And that's just a video that you're going to find some statistic about your topic that might be surprising, or ask them about what they know, like about, whatever your topic is, gendercide, in India. Do they know anything about it? Do they even know what gendercide is? Do they realize so many girls are killed? So anyway, you want to share that piece. Now, you're also going to have your paper. Now, you have the rubric laid out, and so your paper is basically going to be each of those segments of that rubric. So the first one, I believe, is an introduction. So what you're going to do is you're going to basically introduce your topic, what it is. You're going to introduce your country. You're going to give some of the economic background, like the political climate, all of those pieces about your country. You're going to begin to set up the stage of, this is what our country has been doing as far as whatever social issue is. This is why it's not working. And then you're going to go, and that bridges into those oppression pieces and the social justice pieces. Then you're going to talk about that, and then that hopefully will bridge into your advocacy plan. So basically what you're doing is you're kind of building this nice roadmap. So you're saying, here's our country, here's the social issue in our country, this is what the country's been doing. It's a huge problem of why they're not addressing it. And now this is what we perceive needs to be done. So you have to have a policy or a practice change. Because remember, to be true advocacy, we're going to have to see a policy or a practice change. And you're going to talk about how it benefits that client target population and things like that. So now for the paper, you're going to have that outline piece in an appendix in the back of your paper that details all those steps in the guidelines that I have there in Moodle for you. Then in the body of your paper, you're going to do a nice narrative of just what your advocacy plan is, what it entails, who is it going to affect. That is the body piece of your paper. Then the specifics is you're going to refer it out to that appendix. So basically, you're going to have a paper that has your introduction, then it has that social justice oppression issue, then it has your advocacy plan. You are going to talk about your videos in your paper as well. I know it's a little awkward to have it in there, so you can put it at the end, or if you want to put it before the advocacy plan. But anyway, you're going to probably do some transition that, a lot of people here in the United States don't actually understand the things that are actually going on in the world, thus, the gendercide in India or whatever you're talking about. And then you can begin to just do a nice summary of kind of what you found out in your video. And so then your presentation is just going to be very brief slides on each segment of your paper. Very brief. I'm reading your paper, so I don't need the whole entire thing. I just need a nice 1 or 2 slides per each of those segments in the rubric. So you're going to talk about the introduction, talk about your country, the political climate, all that, economics, those kind of pieces. You're going to talk about the social issue, why is there a problem in your country, you're going to need to give statistics about that. And then you bring in, this is what the country has done in the past, this is why it's not working, or why you need to add other pieces on to make it work even better. And then, of course, there's your social advocacy plan. So, now when you're dividing it up, you totally can do it however you want. I would encourage whomever is the best writer in your group to really go through that paper and make sure there's transitions, that you can flow from one thing to another. Now, I have seen in the past with these papers that you have one person do the introduction, the country, all this, one person do the social justice issue, one person do the advocacy plan. which is fine. But what happens is I've had repeat same statistics in each of those sections. I've had the exact same things told to me over and over in the different sections. So you really need someone to reread over it and really blend those pieces together. So whoever is your best writer, a good editor, to really go back through that and blend in. So again, you have your paper to do, a very brief presentation, very, very, very short. And then you have the documentary that's there, and that's 5 people that you're videoing just for a couple of minutes. I don't need a lot of it there. I'm really interested to see who you found and what they know about your topic, or if you're given a statistic, what do they think about that topic. So anyway, now for you to begin to write about it, you really want to think about your topic, and a lot of times what I do is mapping. So if you want to write your topic in the middle of a page and then begin to think of all the different variables that go along with your topic, and then what you can do is begin to center that down some, because some of your topics are huge. So you want to really think about what piece of this topic do we want to really target? What piece? And remember, you are not targeting to change your clients. You're targeting to change a policy or a practice that's not working. So you want to think about that area and then begin to narrow it down. But you all need to be doing lots of research on your country. You really need to understand your country and the culture that's in your country. Because what happens is, things that we do here in the United States, so interventions that we would do here in the United States that would be successful, a lot of times people think, well, we can just pluck that out and take that over here and put it in England, or, we can put it in some country in Africa or Asia, and it's going to work perfect because it worked here in the United States. Well, it doesn't, because they're different cultures. So you really need to be mindful of the culture that your country has. What are the nuances there with that culture? What are the pieces that are really there that when you implement this plan, you have to be mindful of? And especially if there's gender inequalities there, caste systems, whatever is going on, you really want to make sure that your advocacy plan is very mindful and respectful of the culture that you're actually working in. So that's why you need to research your country, really know what is going on in your country. What's the government of your country? Who's ruling in the country? What's been the past history? What are the problems that are going on there? The economic status, the political climate, all of those pieces. You really need to know your country, because that gives you a nice bouncing off point to say, this is kind of who we are as a country, and we're wanting to look at the social issue in our country in this way. And this is why the social issue has been, unfortunately, maybe flourishing or out of hand or whatever. And this is what the government has tried to do about it. You need to know some of the policies that go along with that, and then why it has not worked, and then what you're suggesting to make that change in that policy or that practice, or hopefully both, that you'll be able to address. Now, I want you to be really creative. I've had some really creative things in this in the past, and I want you to really think about, if you were in charge of this social issue in this country, what can you do about it to really make that change to bring about a difference? So anyway, hopefully this helps some to give you an idea about the final project, what your group should be working on right now, which is research. Know that country. Know that social issue in that country. What are the problems? You need to get out there and find those scholarly research articles that tells you what is going on in that country. Then you'll be able to formulate that advocacy plan. All right. Thanks so much.